Alright everyone, welcome to the live stream. Today I'm working on a pop punk song for Bradley Dern once again. And this song is called Shrooms at the Warped Tour. It's a pretty hilarious song about a true story where he goes to Warped Tour on shrooms. And it's got all the fun pop punk vibes. Basically, yeah, this song's pretty mixed already, but right now I'm just dialing in the vocal with the auto-tune. So, here we go. First things first is we gotta get the key set for this. Hey, we got some people online. What's up, guys? Alright, here we go. Let's find the key for this song. I'm pretty sure. I think it's in D standard. Okay, so it sounds like it's in A. It's the fifth of D. Let's see if this auto-tune tunes this correctly. It's kind of funny, I meant to hit A, but it sounded actually like it was tuning better in the key of D. Which is weird, because I've noticed that auto-tune sometimes naturally just tunes better to like the harmonic of the key. Usually because like the lead vocal isn't actually usually hitting the very actual root note. It's more like singing in a harmonic range of where the root is. So I like how it's tuning on D major. I think I'm gonna keep it there. How's everything sound, you guys? Let me know in the chat. Let's get a de-esser on there. Okay, dope. I'm glad to hear that it's sounding all clean. You gotta be careful with the de-essers because it can take away a lot of the brilliance of the highs on a vocal, but, you know, we definitely don't want too many S's and T's coming through. Okay, cool. Glad to hear my voice is coming through good as well. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think that's the fastest I've ever dialed in an auto-tune setting on a song ever. I had a auto-tune, the EFX, which is a really cool plugin, but I ran out of the trial for the Antares auto-tune package and ended up purchasing Auto-Tune Pro. So I had to do a new tuning on it, but I think it actually sounds a little bit better now with this new setting anyway, so I'm totally cool with that. Alright, I'm going to show you guys a little trick here after you get the tuning done. My favorite things ever. Okay, it looks like I got, so after I get the tuning right in the vocal, I love throwing some pitch shifting on. It looks like, this is an older session that I just reopened back up after a few months. We took a break on this project and then we're coming back to it right now. Doesn't look like I have, okay, so I do have the doubler on here, but it looks like it's really low. I'm gonna try a different doubler setting because I have like a new thing that I like doing here for this. I like using the waves doubler. Yeah, that already sounds way better. I just like the way that the default doubler 2 sounds by waves.
You guys get it? Like, I'm capping off the summer with mushrooms, like mushroom caps, whatever, it's wordplay. Fuck you then. We get there, I'm ready for my favorite bands, like Real Big Fish, Taking Back Sunday, and even Simple Plan.
So this is a preset that I made, Brian pitch shifting. I kind of like the way this is sounding a little bit better. I think I'm just going to fine tune it a bit more though. Sounds good. Like a group of guys in the beer garden wearing their frat letters, and they suddenly felt the need to rip off their shirts and then loudly scream, "Simple Plan is fucking sick!" I think I'm gonna go even harder with this and get some cool effects going on the vocals, like a nice chorus. Like labeling my buses to be all custom so I know exactly where all my sends are going to. I like to work quick because I like to stay in that productive, creative mindset with all this stuff. Alright, let's just try the Avid chorus. Or the, let's see, the AIR chorus. I like this one. Usually can get it locked into a pretty good setting really quickly with it. Make sure the mix is turned all the way up to 100% because I'm using it as an aux. Don't want it at 50%. But the one fucked me up the most was this guy with. Make sure this output is set to vocal, let's see, master. Is that where I want it? Yeah. No? To Vox. That's my main vocal bust. Guy with gauges in his ears, except they weren't gauges at all. Instead they were weed grinders. Alright, I actually need to take a second to reiterate this. This dude had gauged his ears so large that he put for real fucking weed grinders in them. Like, oh, talk about holy moly, am I right? Like, do you look like this every day? Freaked me out. Well, thank you, Holiday. Much appreciated.
I woke up and not ready for the day, and I got the craziest news that blew me away. I heard that War 2 is ending. How can this be happening? And there's one more show, and it's gonna be Ventura. I call up the guys, gotta get the tickets, I'll even drive. It's the day of not a cloud in the sky, and my friend suggested we should get real fried. He said we should take mushrooms at Warp Tour, and I responded, fuck yeah we should. And then I said we'll split.
Alright, I'm gonna group these into a folder just so I can keep them more organized. Call them Vokes FX. Then I'm gonna set the output to Vokes. Yeah, I highly recommending doing folders for boxes or tracks that you just have a bunch of. Like, just kind of puts less clutter on the page, just so you can see everything clear. Look, and then I got all these folders routed into my main Vokes, like kind of master bus here. If you want to call it that, master group. And then I'm just hitting Shift F to toggle that open and closed. Quick workflow there. Probably like 50 to 100 tracks in this song, so it's good to kind of keep everything decluttered. What kind of compression am I using? Let's take a look. So this is my favorite digital compressor on the vocals. It's called Gain Reduction. Joey Sturgis Tones makes it. The Slay knob is kind of like the threshold. And yeah, I love the Slay knob like at 20 or 30. Okay, so this one's at like 17. I probably compressed a little bit on the way in while I was recording the vocal. Yeah, it looks kind of like I did based off the waveform. Just because he was singing with kind of like a lot of dynamics, like kind of loud to quiet, but so I decided to track a little bit of compression on him on the way in. I probably used a distressor for that on the way in. And then, yeah, and then I'm just kind of using this as like a second stage of compression here. Then that's going into a vocal bus where all the individual vocals are being processed. And I got the old pop preset going here. The vocals are going through that Marco Marchetti, I think that's how you say it. Pop vocal preset here. And it worked pretty well for this song. It needed some additional multi-band compression just to kind of like tame and kind of bring back down certain frequencies so they don't poke out.
How can this be happening? And there's one more show, and it's gonna be Ventura.
This is a great way of, with multi-band compression where it's like, it's just ducking when the frequencies get too high in certain problem areas. This is something you would only do on certain keys of certain singers for certain songs. It's not something that you apply just on every song. I mean, you could if you wanted to, I guess, but I just do it as needed just to kind of keep the vocal a little more even so it doesn't poke out in the wrong ways. But you just got to be careful of doing it because it can make the vocal lifeless. So you just kind of add as much as you need on it. And then from there, it's going into this Howard Benson kind of vocal processor, which this doesn't really do. I don't have it doing that much on this. I just have it kind of. I like the way everything sounds going through this, and I just kind of hit it really lightly, like the compression's barely existent. Like it's just kind of compressing the group of all the vocals coming into this. Sometimes I'll turn up the grit knob a little bit, gives it a little bit of like saturation or distortion, but just a tiny bit. As you can see, there's a few vocal tracks, so like when they all hit into that, they will, you know, none of the tracks will get louder than the others. So that's always nice, kind of processing vocals that way. Sorry about that. Yes, I can share my screen. So here's that Howard Benson plugin I was talking about. Thing's pretty cool. Let's check it out.
I call up the guys, gotta get the tickets, I'll even drive. It's the day of, not a cloud in the sky, and my friend suggested we should get real fried. He said we should take mushrooms at Warp Tour, and I responded, fuck yeah we should. And then I said we'll split and meet, and we'll get super goomy.
Okay, so I have some new tape saturation settings that I'm running all the tracks through. I'm just gonna like kind of update that right now and see if this sounds a little more like how I usually have things running through this.
He said good idea, I put it in your sandwich already. And we took Shrooms at the Warp Tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Now it's my time to let go, mom and dad can't tell me no. I'll camp on the summer, with Shrooms at the Warp Tour. You guys get it? Like, I'm capping off the summer with mushrooms, like mushroom caps, eh? Whatever, it's wordplay. Fuck you then. When we get there, I'm ready for my favorite bands, like Real Big Band.
I also have new ozone settings that I usually use, so I'm just gonna set everything up like that because I know this works really well.
Fish taking back Sunday, leaving simple plan. But as I found the
Yeah, there we go.
the mushrooms started to take a turn.
Sounds a lot better.
And then I saw this weird teenager with his arms crossed the back. He was brooding with angst and wearing a Slipknot mask. Even though Slipknot's not usually kind of at Warped Tour, different vibe, but whatever, do you? But that's not all. There's plenty more characters, like the group of guys in the beer garden wearing their frat letters. And they suddenly felt the need to rip off their shirts and then loudly scream.
Okay, so I want to hear a little bit more effect on this vocal. Just a little bit more. So I think I'm just gonna put on some little micro shifts. Now let's see how this sounds. Okay, so instead of putting this just on the individual vocal, I kind of want to see what it sounds like on the stereo vocal. Like going through the stereo bus, I mean. Let's see what this sounds like there.
Simple Plan is fucking sad.
Alright, cool. That's sounding more like how I want it, but now I want to put a little bit of saturation on it. Good to sound a little less digital and give it some warmth. So much better. How's it sounding to you guys? I feel like it's getting more dialed in here. Vocal sounding a little more special and sitting in the mix nicely. Sounding nice and full. Actually kind of want to do an A and B real quick to turn off those 3 effects that I just added. See what it sounds like before and after. So here's with them on.
I woke up and I'm ready for the day, and I got the craziest news that blew me away. I heard that World Tour was ending. How can this be happening? And there's one more show, and it's gonna be in Ventura. I call up the guys, gotta get the tickets, I'll even drive. It's the day of, not a cloud in the sky, and my friend suggested we should get real fried. He said, which take mushrooms at Warp.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to set that limiter right there just to catch some peaks on the vocals so it could be a little more even, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I went to negative 11.8, it got too even, I guess is the best way to say it. It kind of made the music less exciting, but the second I went 0.1 higher of attenuation, everything just sounded way more energetic. I'll do that again.
I woke up and I'm ready for the day, and I got the craziest news that blew me away. I heard
It sounds like technically correct, right? Going at negative 11.8, but there's something about negative 11.7 in this particular case that just sounded like I feel the drums moving more. Like, let's hear that.
I woke up and I'm ready for the day, and I got the craziest news.
Like my head wants to start bouncing more. Like I feel the vocal moving with the drums, where a little bit too far down, it just sounds a little like too not dynamic enough. I'm gonna keep that there.
I woke up and I'm ready for the day.
All right, now let's hear this with the 3 new auxes that I made of the doubler, little micro shift, and chorus aux without those on.
I woke up and I'm ready for the day, and I got the craziest news that blew me away. I heard that World Tour is ending.
Must be automation on the doubler. Yeah, there is. I don't know why that's on there. Okay. Try that again. Is it on? Is it off? Is it on? Yeah, I like it. Just something about it that makes it sit a little bit more over the track. It's a little more stereo and a little less mono. Just a little more special. Like, it already sounds like whiny pop punk, you know? It's already gonna be like that no matter what, and that's totally the goal for this song. However, you know, anyway we can make it sound a little bit more fun, a little bit more special, why not? I might throw another Saturn on top of the chorus just to get rid of that kind of like digital sound in the high end.
Gotta get the tickets, I'll even drive. It's the day of, not a cloud. And my friend suggested we should get real fried. He said we should take mushrooms at Warped Tour. And I responded, fuck yeah, we should. And then I said we'll split an eighth and we'll get super goomied. He said, good idea. I put it in your sandwich already. And I'm ready for the day. And I got the craziest news that blew me away. I heard that World Tour is ending. How can this be happening? And there's one more show, and it's gonna be Ventura.
I gotta be careful with this because like it does take away that digital sound a bit, but if it's too much on the drive, it starts to get a little too like overdrive on like that chorus effect too, so we don't want that. I think 10 on the drive sounds good.
And I'm ready for the day, and I got the craziest news that blew me away. I heard that World Tour is ending. How can this be happening? And there's one more show, and it's gonna be Ventura. I call up the guys, gotta get the tickets, I'll even drive. It's the day of, not a cloud in the sky. And my friend suggested we should get real fried. He said we should take mushrooms at Warped Tour. And I responded,
Boom. That was it. Cool. Really like the way this vocal's sitting in the mix now.
fuck yeah, we should. And then I said we'll split and make, and we'll get super goomied. He said good idea. I put it in your sandwich already. Took shrooms at the Warped Tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Now it's my time to let go. Mom and Dad can't tell me no.
All right. This is the new way I've been doing stuff. I have a hardware master bus outboard compressor over here, and the way I've been driving volume into it lately is by using this Lindell bus, which is basically like a Neve bus. So I'm using this kind of as like a volume knob to adjust like how the whole mix is coming into my mix bus compressor. Let's see if this sounds better than what I had here, which was like JSC clip and then a little more clean gain. This will kind of do the same thing as those two plugins, but I like the harmonics that this brings out of the music. So let's see what it sounds like.
Yeah, we should. And then I said we'll split and make and we'll get super gooey. He said good idea. I put it in your sandwich already. And we took shrooms at the warped tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Now it's my time to let go. Mom and Dad can't tell me no. I'll camp all the summer with shrooms at the warped tour. You guys get it? Like I'm capping off the summer with mushrooms, like mushroom caps. Hey, hey, whatever. It's wordplay. Fuck you then. When we get there, I'm ready for my favorite bands, like Real Big Fish, Taking Back Sunday, and even Simple Plan. But as I felt the sun's burn, the mushroom started to take a turn, and then I saw this weird teenager with his arms crossed the back. He was brooding with angst and wearing a Slipknot mask. Even though Slipknot's not usually kind of at Warped Tour. Different vibe, but whatever, do you. But that's not all. There's plenty more characters, like the group of guys in the beer garden wearing their frat letters. And they suddenly felt the need to rip off their shirts and then loudly scream, Simple Plan is fucking sick! Fuck yeah, we should. And then I said we'll split. Fuck yeah, we should. And then I said we'll split and make and we'll get
Okay, let's add a little bit of EQ to this bass to get some more of that kind of pick attack and grit of the bass coming out, like 1K or 2K. That's cool. I mean, just running through this API already sounds better. Give it a little bit of color.
and then I said we'll split and make and we'll get super gooey. He said good idea. I put it in your sandwich already. Then we took shrooms at the warped tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Now it's my time to let go. Mom and Dad can't tell me no. I'll camp
Alright, I think this one's a little too subtle. I might leave it on there just for the color though, but I'm gonna try another API. Throw a little like either 1.5 or 3K on there. Trying to find that blend where like I hear it pop out in the center in a way where it's like you really hear the center being the bass and then the left and right speaker of the guitars. It's kind of getting that like mid-range frequency and get it all balanced together.
yeah, we should. And then I said we'll split and make and we'll get super gooey. He said good idea. I put it in your sandwich already. Then we took shrooms at the warped tour.
let's see what's going on here on CLA base. These are the settings I had from last time. I might need to change some of these around so that it kind of moves a little bit better with the guitar. They sound a little too separate right now. I definitely want them to sound more together. This chorus might be throwing everything off. Cool. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do with that high cut right there is just kind of get it to like lock in with the curve, so like of the guitars, right? So on the bass I added some extra distortion to it, so I don't want it to interfere with the guitar's distortion. So basically I have this cut happening right here at around 4K, and the slope makes a huge difference. How whatever you set the slope to is going to affect the phase differently, affect where like, because in this whole region here, it's gonna like be more noticeable in the more high mid frequencies of like where the distortion's peaking out. So where you set the cutoff and the slope is gonna really affect how it like works well with the guitars or doesn't work well with it. So now I just kind of gotta get the right volume for it. Okay, I think that's pretty much the blend I was looking for right there. Got it. So I'm gonna have to move all these Atari EFX plugins. Add the new auto tune. There we go. It is a catchy tune, huh? It just kind of like stays in your, it just stays in your head the whole time. Just be walking around and like hearing this in my head and going, too much shrimps at the Warped Tour. It's pretty funny having that in your head walking around. Try doing a little stereo width in the bass. Sometimes this kind of helps with the bass after CLA bass. Sometimes, not all the time though. Having trouble getting that bass to feel like it's locked in with everything. Okay, I kind of like that sound better on the CLA bass, turning off the sub and then putting on the lower. That's kind of what I was missing there. All right, so now I can turn these two off. Cool, that's a little bit more what I'm going for there, but I want to mess with the curve of how this bass is curving off. Right, a little bit of Neve compression on this bass, good to kind of lock in a little more, because there's still parts on this bass where like certain parts, like it just. I played bass on this, and like it sounds like I kind of dug in too hard on certain parts, and like the bass just gets way louder or way quieter. So I kind of want to like lock in the bass a little bit more musically with some bus compression like this. Let's see if we can get this locked in a little more musically now. Alright, I think the CLA bass is kind of creating some latency on some of these tracks of the bass. It takes up a lot. So I'm going to commit everything up to CLA bass on both of these tracks. See if we can get them to lock in a little bit more phase-wise with the rest of all the tracks. Because with bass, if everything's not like quite in phase right, nothing really sounds right in the track. So I'm going to commit this. I'm not going to commit the volume. Don't need the sends. Do it offline. Oh wait. I might have to do this separately. Alright, I'm just gonna do this separately. Alright, let's see how this bass sounds now. Yeah, it definitely sounds a little bit better, a little cleaner, a little less latency, which is great. Now let's print the bass on the bridge track.
When I first heard that what was ending, I wanted to break down and cry. Now I'm here amongst these fucking freaks. I realize this needs to die. I'm on shrooms at the warp tour. When I first heard that what was ending, I wanted to break down and cry. Now I'm here amongst these fucking freaks. I realize this needs to die.
Alright, cool. So that sounds dope. Okay, I just wanted to kind of hear that real quick, just to see how everything was blending into each other before the compressor, like the master bus compressor. I'm gonna turn these plugins back on. Get these guitars just a little biting through just a little bit more on 2K. Alright, cool. Okay, it's time to make some key input tracks. There we go. So now I'm going to link these to my MIDI drums. I'm going to be sending this spike information. Just sounds like a click track basically, so that I can duck my bass when the kick hits and duck the guitar when the snare hits. I like my clip color coding to change with the same color as the track color, just so I can kind of see everything clearly on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to send these to, let's get that bass to duck. I'm going to use Pro MB for this. Set my key input here. Basically what I'm playing with right there is just trying to get the bass to duck kind of more musically in time with the length of the kick drum for the BPM of the song with the release here. Like how quickly it releases back. I think I'm going to keep that there for now. And move on to the guitar after I automate this though, because there's a little interlude part before the verses that the ducking does not need to be on there. On this pre-verse section. Boom, now let's go to pre-verse 2, do the same thing. Cool. Now that's off, let's go to, let me readjust this real quick here. I like to see my plugins in rows of 3s just to keep everything a little clearer on the screen. Okay, now we got the guitar. Go to Pro and B. Do kind of the same thing. I like to usually start at like 1K. Key input. Now we're gonna snare spike. Wow, that makes a huge difference. Sounding a little late. I just want to see if I can mess with the latency on the look ahead to get it to sound like it's playing a little faster. I'm just gonna keep it at those settings. Yeah. Okay, so on this I'm gonna do the same thing where I'm gonna actually probably a better way than adding more automations just to mute the kick spike and snare spike. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that just to save CPU. There we go. I'll go to the second one. So anytime you don't want the kick spike or snare spike to send information, you either turn off the plugin that's ducking it, or you can mute the waveform. I'm going to take off I'm going to disable the automation for this, because essentially you're doing the same thing, but just taxing the CPU with a computer less. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it. I think I'm pretty much done for tonight with this. I really like this. It's a great stopping point. Do some, mix notes on different speakers and stuff after this. But one last thing I want to try is a slightly different EQ curve on the mastering, just to see the difference of what these two sound like.
That's not all. There's plenty more characters, like the group of guys in the beer garden wearing their frat letters. And then suddenly felt the need to rip off their shirts and loudly scream, "Simple Plan is fucking sick!" Yeah. But the one fucked me up the most was this guy with gauges in his ears. Except they weren't gauges at all. Instead they were weed grinders. Alright, I actually need to take a second to reiterate this. This dude had gauged his ears so large that he put for real fucking weed. 'Cause I'm on shrooms at this world tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist and say goodnight. I'll cap off the summer with shrooms at the right time. My friends now I'm stuck with Slipknot guy. I've lost all my friends and this wasn't the plan at all. 'Cause I'm on shrooms at this world tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist and say goodnight. I'll cap off the summer with shrooms at the right time. My friends now I'm stuck with Slipknot guy. I've lost all my friends and this wasn't the plan at all. 'Cause I'm on shrooms at this world tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist and say goodnight. I'll the summer with shrooms at the right time. My friends now I'm stuck with Slipknot guy. I've lost all my friends and this wasn't the plan at all. 'Cause I'm on shrooms at this world tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Can't believe anything left. Got my wrist and say goodnight. I'll with shrooms at the right time. My friends now I'm stuck with Slipknot inside of me. Lost all my friends and this was everything that I when I walked was dead.
Always have your reference mixes on handy to check with this kind of stuff. Since this song's more pop punk, I'm gonna check out some pop punk reference mixes. I'm gonna go with some Chunk No Captain Chunk.
We're counting down, singing songs we love to laugh. This world tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Kissing me, can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist and say goodnight. I'll cap off the summer with shrooms at the right time. My friends now I'm stuck with Slipknot guy. I've lost all my friends and this wasn't the plan at all. 'Cause I'm on shrooms at this world tour, tripping balls by the harbor. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist and say goodnight. I'll cap off the summer with shrooms at the right time. My friends now I'm stuck with Slipknot guy. 'Cause I and this wasn't the plan at all. 'Cause I'm on shrooms out, regretting all tripping balls by the harbor. Can't believe it's the last time.
Alright, guys. I think, yeah. I'm gonna stop here for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you could leave me a like and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. This helps me, you know, get everything together so I can create more content like this. But yeah, I'll be signing off. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thanks for tuning in.